What's going on, guys? Elias Thompson back with another video. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. This channel is all about getting as strong and as jacked as humanly possible. So if you guys are into that, for more videos, comment, subscribe, like, dislike, whatever you want to do. But today, boys, we're going to talk about how I bypass the law of accommodation in my training. And basically, if you guys don't know what the law of accommodation is, it is just this natural cause that we can only get better at something for about 3 weeks in the gym. We're talking about in the gym here. It applies, I think, a lot of other places too, but we're going to obviously focus on what matters here, and that's the gains, boys. So for 3 weeks, you can make great progress on a lift, but after that third week mark, progress begins to halt, begins to slow. If you keep going, you're going to plateau, you're going to regress, and you do not want that if you want long-term gains in the gym, boys. So basically, I'm going to talk about how I avoid that in my own training. So if you guys didn't know, for the past 6 weeks here, I've been training conjugate, and basically conjugate is set up in a way to avoid this completely and just make steady progress. For example, my maxes are never the same. They're similar, which we're going to talk about a little bit, but they're never the same. So I high bar squat max, then the next week I'll box squat max, then the third week I'll low bar squat max, then the fourth week maybe a front squat, maybe another variation. But I try to only max out on the same lift every 3 to 4 weeks before I give myself time to come back to it, time in between to grow, so I come back stronger, 5 to 10 pounds. And that's what I try to do every single time. I don't try to hit the same max lift every week. Now, you could do this. You could peak a lift for about 3 weeks before you get stale at it. But personally, I just like mixing things up. Now, my accessory work, where I get my volume in, where I grow, I change those things up every 3 weeks. I'll run a lift for 3 weeks, progress on it, whether it be adding 5 pounds of workout for 3 weeks in a row or adding a rep every single session. So starting with 3x8, and by the time I'm at the third week with that same weight, I'm doing a 3x10. Those are the 2 ways I go about it. And after that, I've tried in the past to run stuff longer than 3 weeks, and progress begins to slow. I begin to plateau. And if I keep doing it, I regress. See this on my deadlift in the past all the time. I'll start going up in weight, get close to my lifetime PR, plateau because I keep doing it. I'll start failing lifts, just can't progress anymore. And I learned this the hard way. But recently, these past 6 weeks running conjugate, it's been great because I haven't really stalled. And if I am at the point to keep going, I will stall and I switch things up. Now, what we're going to talk about is how to get this to carry over, because, guys, you don't want to just switch, you don't want to be doing bench press and just cut out bench press, start only doing overhead press or something like that. They're kind of similar movements, but they're not going to build into each other. What I'm talking about here, for example, a good example of my accessory work is my first 3 weeks, I did the floor press. Started off with 195, 3 sets of 8. Each week added added a rep to my sets. So I went 3x8 the first week, 3x9 the second week, 3x10 the third week. And at that third week, I was feeling good. But I switched things up over into the pin press, and not just like a super high pin press, but there's no chest involvement really. We're talking like similar heights to my floor press. Kind of just using it to fight through my sticking point. Both on my bench, my comp bench, both those lifts are like an inch below my sticking point on my bench press. So it's like a perfect hypertrophying lift for those, perfect accessory to get stronger at my main lift. And it's paid off. I added 20 pounds on my bench in like 4 or 5 weeks. So obviously it's been working, but both those lifts carry into each other. So I did the 3x8, the 3x10 with 195 on my floor press, switched it over the next 3 weeks, where I just got done yesterday with that 3 week wave with 205, 3x8 to 3x10. Coming back now next week, gonna go back to floor press, 3x8 to 3x10 with 205, so I'm like 10 pounds stronger. I'm going to be stronger at my floor press because I've been training a lift that's similar but not the same. So I allowed for the law of accommodation to not kick me in the ass, and I still kept the law of specificity. So the lifts are similar and they build into each other. So with my maxes on my squat, we go box squat, then we go high bar squat, then we go low bar squat, then we do front squat. They're all squats. They all carry over. They all have that same maximal training effect Some you'll use more weight than others, but they're all similar. And you get stronger at one, you're going to get stronger at the other. You're bound to get stronger at the other. And the same thing with all my accessory work. It's all built into getting me stronger at all my main comp lifts, my squat, bench, deadlift. With my deadlift, I go sumo deadlift, then I go banded sumo deadlift, and then I go either a Zercher or conventional. Then the last week I'll do like a deficit, and I'll come back around and retest my maxes 5 to 10 pounds stronger than last time. And in the meantime, I'm doing accessory work that's going to build up my lifts in 3-week waves, and then I switch it up, whether it be reps, sets, stance width, bar positioning, like on my good mornings, bar positioning, usually rep range, also foot positioning, things like that. And then same with my rows. My rows, I'll do higher reps, lower reps. You know, rows I don't really change up too much. I just change up the rep scheme and things like that. But that's how I bypass the law of accommodation. Guys, I'm telling you, for years, I would not follow this law. I just try to keep getting stronger. I'd plateau, and then your body's gonna, you know, if you don't want to deload it or change a modality, your body's gonna regress at it because it just has to recover. And if you're not allowing it to recover from that and make adaptations, you're gonna regress naturally, just how the body works. So guys, that's how I avoid the law of accommodation. I think Conjugate is a great system for this and allows you to keep making good progress. So guys, deload week's almost over. Gonna come back, hit it hard next week. So boys, thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe. See you next time.